Hello mates, welcome to today's tutorial. In this video we'll be making this beautiful dress. I'll show you how to cut it with the hoodie plus the cape. It's a Christmas themed dress, so let's go straight into the video. So we'll be cutting the velvet first, and the full length of the dress we're working with is 36 inches, and also her half length is 14. So by the time you remove 14 from 36, you'll be left with 22 inches. Alright, so the skirt length is going to be 22 inches, but you know it's a 2-layered dress. So now we'll divide the 22 into 2, we'll have 11 inches. So the upper layer is going to be 11 inches, while the lower layer is going to be 22 inches. But I will not be cutting the whole of 22 inches with velvet, no. So the upper layer, which is 11 inches, by the time you divide it by 2 into 2 rather, you will have 5.5. So let's just say 5. So by the time we remove 5 from 22 inches, we'll be left with 17 inches. So the velvet is going to be 17 inches, while the lining will be adding to the velvet is going to be 5 inches. Okay, so now let's cut. So from this starting point, I'll measure 17 inches downward, then I'll be adding 1 inch for joining at the hem, and also to the lining we'll be adding to the velvet. We'll be joining to the velvet at the upper area. So I'm going to be marking 18 inches instead of 17 inches. And then I'll connect the lines together. Then also for the upper layer, you know it's supposed to be 11 inches. Then you add 1 inch to it for joining, and it's going to be 12 inches. So I'll be marking 12 inches for the upper layer. Then after I'm done marking, I'm going to be cutting everything out. So this is it. Then we're going to set this aside. So I'll be cutting the upper part now, and I'll be cutting the front panel and the back panel separate. So here now I'll be cutting the back panel first, and here is my starting point line. Then the length I'll be cutting out is 16 inches. That is not the original length I'm using for the top, but I just want to cut out the 16 inches. So by the time I place the two panels on each other, I'll still have excesses to trim out. So now I'll be cutting the front panel with this remaining fabric. So I'm going to measure you to see what I have. So here I have 14 and a half, the exact amount of fabric that I will be needing for the front panel is what I have here. So I'm just going to cut 16 inches out for the length as well. So after I'm done cutting out the front panel, the next thing I'll be doing is to place the two panels on each other. The back panel will be down, then I'll place the front panel on it. So here is the back panel, so you don't make mistake. Then I'm going to place the front panel on it like this. So here is the starting point line. Then on that starting point line, I'll be marking shoulder width of 6 inches. Our shoulder is 12, so I'll be marking 6 inches. Then from this point, I'm going to mark 6.5 inches downward. Then I'll come this way and mark the same 6 inches I marked on the shoulder. Then connect the 2 points together. So for the bust measurement, I'll be working with bust 25 divided by 4. I'll be having 6.2 inches. Then for the sewing allowance, I wanted to use 1 inches before, but now I'll use 0.75. So if you add that to 6.2, what we'll have is 7 inches. So I'll be marking 7 inches plus the sewing allowance as the bust measurement. So now I'm going to be taking a shoulder to waist measurement, which is 14 inches, but I'm going to add 1 inch to it for sewing allowance on the shoulder and on the waist, making 15 inches. So here I marked 15 inches. Then for the round waist measurement, our waist is 23 inches divided by 4. We'll have 5.7 for the waist measurement. Then by the time you had 0.7 to it, we'll be working with 6.5. So I'm going to come here and mark 6.5. Then I'll connect it to the bust measurements like so. Then for the neck width I'm working with is 2.5. Then for the neck depth, the front neck depth is going to be 3 inches. So 2.5 by 3. So I'm just going to use my free hand to connect the points to draw the curve. Then for the back neck depth is going to be 1 inch. So now I'll come to this side to create the armhole. So from the starting point, I'm going to be marking half inch first one, then another half inch second one. Then from the second half inch, I'm going to place my tape there and find the midpoint of the remaining allowance that we have. So we marked 6.5, so we'll have 5.5 left. Divided by 2, we'll have 2.75. So that's where I marked Then on that point now, I'll be going in by 1/2 inch. Then you connect the 3 points together. That is if you don't have armhole cuff. But if you have armhole cuff, you can just position it the way you see me do here. Then you connect the 3 points together. So here is the armhole cuff. Then after that, I'll be marking my shoulder slope. The first 1/2 inch that we marked out, so I'm just going to connect it to the neckline. So that's the shoulder slope there. So the next thing is to mark your zip allowance. Here I'll be using 1 inch. Then after I'm done marking the zip allowance, then I'm going to cut everything out. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll raise this front panel up. Around the zip area on the back panel, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. Then on the side here, I'm going to go in by 1 inch. Then you see that point, I'm going to connect it this way with a straight line. Like so. Then I'm going to cut that part out. So now we are done with the upper part of the dress. So for the organza, we'll be cutting 21.5 inches, including the hemming allowance and the joining allowance to the upper part. Remember, the full length we're working with for the skirt is 22 inches. But by the time we hem this organza, then join it on the waistline, we would have removed 2 inches from the main length, so that this organza won't be showing under the main fabric. So before I'll cut this out, I'm going to be marking another 21.5 inches again, because it's going to be 2 layers. The organza is going to be 2 layers. So there it is. Then I'm going to be connecting the 2 points together. Then now I'll cut everything out. So from my starting point here, I'll be marking 19.5. We'll use 1/2 inch to join it to the upper part. Although I had already measured 19 inches, but now I'll be marking 19.5. Then we'll connect the points together. Then I'll just trim off the excess here. Then I'm going to cut this first part out. Then I'll set it aside. Then I'll move this up So I'll be able to cut the remaining 2 parts that I'll be cutting. So from here I'm going to mark another 19.5. Then I'll connect the points together. Then I'm going to repeat the same process for the last part. Then after you're done, you're going to cut everything, then set it aside. So now for the lining, we'll be marking on 18 inches. Then mark 18 inches here as well. Then we'll connect the 2 points together. This lining now, I'll be joining 2 strips together. So this is the first strip I'm cutting. Then I'm going to be cutting another strip. So from here as well, I'm going to measure 18 inches upward. Then mark it on this side and repeat the same process on the other side. Then I'll connect the 2 points together. So I'm going to cut it. So I'll be joining the previous strip and this other strip that I'm cutting. I'll be joining them together to form one single fabric. Then this is what I'll be using for the lining for the top. So now for the fall, I have in total of 21 inches in width. So I'll be marking 3 inches per strip. On this side too, I'll be placing my tape here. Then I'm going to mark 3 inches per strip as well. And in total, I'll be having 7 strips of 4. Then after I'm done marking, I'm going to connect the points together, then cut it out. So for the hoodie, I have 22 inches on fold. Then you pin it down here and you fold this wheel again. So you'll be having 4 layers like that. The round neck I'm working with is 14 inches, and you know this is unfolded into 4. So what I normally do is I'll divide that 14 by the number of layers I have. So here I have 4. 14 divided by 4, I'll have like 3.5 thereabout. So I'm just going to mark it like this. Then I'm just going to take my tape to measure what I have. So it's not up to the 3.5 we're working with. Then I'm going to come down by half an inch, then mark it, then I will remeasure it again. So now when I remeasured it, now I have the 3.5 that I'm looking for, but I won't be cutting on this new line that I just draw. I'll be cutting on the first line, okay, because if you cut on the original line, it's going to be wider than what you have. So now from this point, I'm marking 22 inches, the full length of the cape. I'm marking 22 inches all around. Then you connect the points together and cut everything out. Then here too, you cut it out. Then you open it up. Now this is where you will shape it to whichever shape you want. So for this, I'll be doing high-low. You can leave it like this and you can just shape it however you like. So for the length of the front, I'll be measuring 11 inches. Then I'll be connecting this point to this point. So here I'm just going to shape it however I want it. Then after I'm done shaping it, I'll be cutting it out. So for the shaping of the cape, you can shape it however you like in the front, but I'm just going to be doing it this way. Like that. Then when I open it up, you see what I have. Okay, on this side, I'm going to be trimming this side off. Okay, then I'll check the other side too. If there's anything like that, then I'll trim it off as well. So this is what I have for the cape. The next thing I'll be cutting is the hoodie. For the hoodie, to cut the hoodie, you fold your fabric into two, like you see me do here. Then you can see I've drawn out some line already. But for the height of the hoodie, the minimum you can do for the size I'm working with is 12 inches. She's 8 years old, so the height, the minimum height you can do for her is 12 inches. But for me, I'll be working with 13.5 or 13 inches. So just from 12 inches upward, all right? So I'm going to mark it here. Then I'll come on this side to then mark the same thing. Then for the width, I'll be working with 12 inches for the width, as you can see here. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'm going to join the 2 points together up here. Then I will take the cape, I'll fold the cape into two, then I'm going to position it on this square that I have here. So you place the front of the cape here. So this place that I'm marking is the front of the cape. So make sure the front of the cape is on the front of the front side of the hoodie as well. Then just arrange your cape properly. It's not going to be straight. You see the way it's slanted. Then you trace it out. Then you mark where it stops at. So this is the point that the cape stops at. So make sure you mark that point very well. Instead of me drawing it straight to join it at the top here, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to shape it out. You can shape it however you want it to be. So when you're done shaping it out like this, then you need ½ inch. You need to add ½ inch all around to it, except for the front. You will be adding ½ inch all around the hoodie except for the front. Okay, so then after that you will cut it out. And when you're done cutting it out, make sure you notch this point where your neck is going to start from. And after this, you're going to cut the facing for this hoodie. So for the joining, what you're going to do is you pick one on this side, then you pick one on the other side too. Then you join them together. Then you do the same to the other side as well. And when you are done, you know that part that we notch. When you are done, that part that we notch on the hoodie is what is going to be at the center of the cape. So you fold your cape into two, then find the center, then notch the center. So like this, then you notch that part. Okay, that's the center. Then where your stitches stops at, where we notched on the hoodie, that is where will be the center here. That's where you will position directly onto this notched part. Then also don't use the hoodie to turn each other. Remember, you'll be adding 4, except if you will not be adding 4. So when you are done joining your cape and the hoodie together, that is when you cannot add your 4. Alright, I hope you've learned one of two things in this video. Thank you so much. Please do like, share, subscribe, then comment. If you have any question, please do ask, then I'll be glad to answer your question. Okay, alright, now see you in my next video. Bye.